believe it. You know what I mean? Like see it all the time and believe it, and whatever you gotta do to protect that belief. My version of protecting that belief was I wasn't sharing this.
Yeah, you weren't.
You know, I wasn't even telling my mom. She knew I rapped. She knew I did music, and to her it
don't
was
let
like
somebody knock you off.
I'm not even gonna give my own mother the chance to try to bring me back down to reality. It's not gonna happen.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is gonna be a little bit different because it is gonna be a reaction video. It's a reaction video about J. Cole's interview. It's J. Cole's interview, and I started watching the video, and I like some of the stuff that he was saying in it. You know, like his story, his mindset, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's valuable to like learn from those people that are successful, those people that are driven to make it in their life, and they do make it, and then to like steal something from their mindset. So that's the videos that we're going to dive in. I started watching the video, but I thought, you know, why not just react to the video directly? So this is what we're going to do, a reaction to J. Cole interview.
What was the dumbest, stupidest thing you did?
At 6 years old, I was smoking cigarettes regularly around the neighborhood.
How does that even happen? Like,
just being around the neighborhood. And like,
so you're 6.
I'm 6. And the thing was, my brother's 4 years older than me, almost 4 years older than me.
And he's smoking too?
No, that's the wild thing. It was just, I was always hanging around the older kids in the neighborhood that he was hanging around, and they were smoking. And I was young and fearless and trying to be cool. So it was like, oh, y'all smoking? Like, let me see that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And of course, we're all out there kind of like young parents with like long leashes. Not like my mom knew I was doing this. She was just, my mom comes from a town. First of all, my mom got 10 brothers and sisters. Okay. She comes from or maybe 9 brothers and sisters. She comes from a massive family with a single mother, like type of broken home type of thing where they all raised each other. Sure. And she comes from a small town where it was like, yo, you leave your door unlocked. She comes from where you can let your kid, like I was out, and she allowed me that, probably like she was, just out there. And I think back then it was probably a little safer to be just out roaming. So while I'm out roaming, of course, my mom has no clue that her 6-year-old son would try to.
If I see a 6-year-old
it's wild,
smoking, I'm looking at that kid going, this kid has no shot.
It's crazy.
So nobody said, hey.
No, see, that's the life-changing moment. This was literally a life-changing moment. I guess it's kind of getting to what you're asking. I literally remember, you know, I'm 6 years old. I'm like, I'm smoking with these kids in the neighborhood that are older than me. And you know, to them it's funny. You know, they're 10 themselves, so it's funny for them to see, like, nobody's really worried about me. Like, hey, don't do that. You know what I mean? They just like, they're 10 and smoking cigarettes.
They got their
you know
own,
what I mean? So like, they're not. It's not like they're gonna say, hey man, maybe you shouldn't do that. Nah. So I'm smoking with these older kids. Boom, boom. This is going on for 2-3 weeks or something. And one day, I'm down the street at a house where it was happening at. And my brother comes up, and I ask one of our homeboys in the neighborhood, I'm like, yo, you got any cigarettes? I'm 6, trying to be cool. I'm like, yo, you got any cigarettes? My brother hears this for the first time because he didn't know what was going on. My brother hears it, and he's like, what are you talking about? Like, Jermaine, shut. Like, he's shut up. That was my brother's energy. Shut up. Like, Jermaine, shut up. Like, what you talking about? I'm like, oh, he don't know. He don't know. I'm like, yo, tell him, don't I be smoking? Don't I be smoking? Like, proud of it, like trying to be cool.
I do this. This is what I do.
And so they confirmed it. They was like, yeah, he be smoking. So right away, and looking back in retrospect, I'm so grateful my brother did this. And at the time, I was so like, I felt so like it was treason. But my brother was like, I'm telling mom. And he walked home, and I'm 6, of course I'm dumb. But I'm like, I don't care. Like at 6 years old, I was like, you're gonna go and tell mom, and then she's gonna ask me, and I'm gonna say I don't smoke. I saw it.
You saw that.
I saw it in my mind. I'm just gonna say I don't smoke.
I'm just gonna lie.
So this is how dumb I am. Now the cigarettes are available. I go into the backyard right at this time, and we start smoking a cigarette, and I'm being cool, boom, boom, boom. And so my brother, about, I don't know, 20 minutes later or something, walks to the backyard where we was at. And he was like, Jermaine, he was like, mom wants to see you. I'm like, all right. Like, I'm like, okay, like, all right, so what? So I'm walking home, no fear. I have no, there's no worry. No worry at all.
Nothing's gonna happen.
And I walk in the house, and she's like, Jermaine. I'm like, yeah, Mom. And she's like, what's this I hear about you smoking cigarettes? I'm like, huh? I'm like, huh? She's like, come here. And I walk up close to her, and she was like, say something. I was like, what do you mean say something? And when I said it, she bent down.
Yeah.
And she smelled this cigarette smoke on my breath. And this was the life-changing moment right here, because I saw her face.
Yeah.
When she smelled like cigarettes on my breath, her face was like, it was like heartbroken, it was disbelief, it was like crushed.
Yeah.
I remember the look on her face, and she was like, you have been smoking. Like, it hit her like that. Yeah. Her baby, I'm the youngest of two, that her baby, who's 6, A, is capable of smoking cigarettes, and B, capable of lying dead to her face about it. Yeah. So it hit her, and I'm pretty sure, and my mom was not the type to give the whoopings that would like be relegated to my stepfather down the line, but I think I got one right then and there, because it was just like an emergency situation that I feel like she had to do. But honestly, I don't even remember the whooping, because, matter of fact, I know she gave me a whooping because her boyfriend, who would end up becoming my stepfather, came home, and he usually was like the disciplinarian, and he was like, when he told me, he was like, I heard about what happened. He was like, I'm not gonna whip you because I heard your mom already did it. So she must have whooped me, but my point is, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, yeah.
All I remember was her face.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think that was the life-changing moment, to where after that I didn't need much correction, I became a self-corrector, is because that was the first time that I became aware that, like, oh, my actions can hurt someone else. Like, things that I do, my decisions can hurt somebody else. You know what I mean? Not just
like I was saying, it depends on the environment of where kids are growing up to. So in this case, I can see how that can really happen, because I mean, I remember when we were a kid, like when you see all older people smoking and stuff, you kind of like fantasize about wanting to smoke, right? I don't know if you guys have done that, but I mean, as a kid, I remember one time we were rolling like a paper, like a paper from notebook, a sheet of paper from notebook. We roll it, and then we put fire on, and we're pretending that we're smoking. So that's a dumb thing to do as a kid, but just him being able to learn from that experience and learning something that is really important, which is the compassion that he has for his mother, which is the disappointment that he see in her eyes that was caused by his action, and just understanding that lying and then the things that he was doing was disappointing, and then knowing that he actually fucked up, and then it's a lesson that you have learned for life. So yeah, I think it's a good one.
Well, they say that a kid doesn't even develop that until like 10, 11, 12, like that, to think outside of them.
Right.
So to get that at 6, to be like, whoa. Obviously, you were like growing up different. I mean, that wasn't, to figure that out, first of all, to be smoking at 6, that's a whole different.
It blows my mind.
I mean, and then to remember, I don't know if your reaction was, when you say you moved other people, was it like, I feel bad that I hurt my mom, or was it I really screwed up? I don't know how a 6-year-old even does that.
I think it was, this person I really love and care about, I let him down. I lied blatantly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I was doing something
disaster kid.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So you had so then from there you learned that was a moment for you. Like you remember that.
Obviously,
that's a big. 30 years later, you got.
That's a big thing in my life. That never went away. Yeah.
And your children, talk to other musicians. Their children's are musicians. They believe there's somebody that showed them this is possible, and they're around it. And then they think, well, my dad did it. It ain't no big deal. Same as the NBA. You got a lot of players that parents played, and once you break through that, I can do this too. Yeah. It actually, there's momentum to that. Yeah. So your kids, you probably already know this, their chances of being in music are exponentially great. Yes. Whether they're talented, just because they know dad does this. Yep. So what made you think that music could be that for you, or did you not think that way?
I did. I had delusion, and
was it really delusion? Because you talk about NBA delusion, you go, that's just a dream every 6. But you thought it was the same for music?
Music was the same. I'm talking about as soon as I ever wrote my first rap, I'm the type of person where like
You mean you had delusion like I can do this in a good way?
yeah.
Because I'm hearing it like
okay, good.
because you said delusion.
I view delusion in two ways.
Okay.
One, this person has no clue. They're nowhere near what they're talking about.
Okay.
The other delusion that I view is not in a negative.
I got you.
You have to have a delusion.
So was the delusion about basketball?
Yes, my delusion about basketball was well, they were both equal.
I got you.
They were
I
both
understand.
equal. They were both
got it.
equally far-fetched, but they were both necessary.
I see.
If Steph Curry is not delusion, his father's doing it.
Yeah.
But maybe Allen Iverson is delusion. You know what I mean? Maybe that's delusion.
I
You
got
don't
you.
have the size.
Yeah,
you don't have
yeah.
a father who's
Yeah,
X,
yeah,
Y,
yeah,
Z.
yeah.
So, but regardless, I think that anybody that's shooting for something
Yes.
extremely high, you have to start with
A little irrational.
A little irrational,
Yeah.
because if you were to let logic
Yeah.
or rationality,
you
wouldn't make it because
too many
everything.
obstacles.
Yes,
Yeah.
too many, the
Yeah.
numbers, the
You
odds.
can't do that.
The
You
odds
can't
aren't
do
in your
that. Yeah.
favor. But to your question, the delusion about music, I'm honestly that person till this day, and I really appreciate
It's
it
a
about
strength
myself. It's
for
a
you.
strength. When I start something, if I golf for the first time seriously, like meaning me and my friends really had like a competitive outing. I don't golf.
Yeah.
But I like saw improvement in
Yeah,
the day,
yeah.
and then in the next day.
Yeah.
So my mind instantly goes to, I still have the same delusion from when I was 6 and 12.
Yeah.
My mind instantly goes to, I wonder how good I could get if I did this
yeah.
every day. How good could I get? Could I, and I
Yeah.
shoot for the highest thing
Yeah.
that my mind will allow me to, acceptable level of delusion, and then I try to say, well, maybe I'll get to that. And maybe I won't, but I start with a seed of delusion. So basketball was like that. It didn't pan out because, I never
But when you
put
were
in the work.
12,
What he's saying here is really true of anyone who really wants to do something that is big with their life. It's like taking an endeavor that you are not sure if you are going to make it, but unless you are delusional about you making it, you're not going to take the first step. You're not going to be intentional about the work that you're putting in, the grind of that mindset of like, okay, if I do this thing every single day, if I give it my all, can I not make it? I'm at some disadvantage right now, but I don't think that really stopped me. Like, I can make it like anybody else. That delusion, I think that delusion is what people that are great, that create something that has changed the world in a meaningful way, have had. Imagine like people like Thomas Edison with the light bulb. You have to be delusional enough to create something that doesn't exist, right? Transforming energy into light, putting it into a bulb that everybody's using it. It has changed the trajectory of how human civilization has worked over time. We used to only work during the day. Now we have light. At night we can work. At night we can study. At night it gives us more time in the days than what we usually had. You can imagine like someone like Henry Ford with the Ford car, right? Someone that has never been to school, have never, doesn't get any formal education. But if he wasn't delusional about wanting to create the best car in the United States, Ford wouldn't exist. Someone who like someone like George Washington. I don't know if I say the name right, but the first president of the United States. These people coming together, putting the thought of creating a nation that is one of the biggest in the world. Unless you are delusional about the things that you're going to do that sound impossible, and then you because I'm not talking about delusional of like, he's not talking about the delusional of just sitting down one day, oh yeah, I'll be an NBA player without knowing how to play basketball, knowing how much work it's going to take to get there. But the delusional in the sense that I am going to become an NBA player, which means I am committed to this basketball thing for life. That I'm going to show up every single day on the court. I will practice 6 hours in a day. This is going to be the things that I drink, I sleep, I wake up. This is going to be my world, because that's how delusional I am about it. I will make it happen. Those type of like delusional. I think that's what he's referring to. And I think if you really want to like go far in life, and if I don't know if you do have impossible goals, if you are delusional, you will understand what he's talking about and how much work it requires to put that in place. And then that delusion is there gonna be a lot of friction against it. The people that will not be able to see it the way that you're seeing, right? And you will realize that when you talk to some people, they will look at you, they will be like, yeah, you are delusional, but maybe in a good way.
Or 13 or 14, when you started thinking about life, they ask kids, what do you want to be? Would you have checked, or would you have thought rational? Would it start feeling like music is a better path for you, or was it always just like basketball's there?
Man,
Because you told me you got cut from your team,
yeah.
and that was the moment where it was a shock. It was a shock to you.
Yep.
And then you told me what you did with it.
Yeah, I got cut twice, from 9th and 10th grade.
Yeah, and then
it's crazy.
You were just, how does this happen to me? That's what
yeah,
you told
my
me.
first time. That's
Yeah,
the
you
first
were
time
kind of
it's
like, this isn't.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I had no what do you call it, organized basketball experience outside of rec.
Yeah.
I didn't play middle school because my middle school didn't have a team. I went to some little specialized middle school that they tried for the first time. So yeah, when I got cut my 9th grade year, I'm looking around like, well, how are you gonna cut me?
Yeah.
Instead of looking in the mirror, like, bro, you're not even really that good. Like,
Right.
I started making excuses. Oh, but I'm better than this guy, better than this guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the next year when I got cut again, where first time I had to look in the mirror,
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, why did you get cut?
Yeah.
Oh, you never worked. You didn't. Did you?
But that was
outwork
all you
anybody?
that figured that out.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a coach where you go, coach,
No.
and the coach goes, you don't even practice, you don't even play, you don't even try. It was
No.
you.
Yes, I had to realize. I mean, yeah, I had to get punched in the face 2 times. I love basketball so much, and my delusion was high. So to get cut from the team was a gut punch. You know what I mean? I literally could have cried when I went and looked at the list and my name wasn't on there. It was like, And so the second time, now I'm so grateful that I got punched in the face twice, because it was like, well, wait a minute. If I only got punched that one time, and I know some people in my life, they get punched that one time,
And that's it.
they'll never go try out again.
Yeah.
The pain of that was too much to ever go back.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that it was like, nah, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna try again.
Yeah.
And I got cut again, and it was the world saying, well, of course you got cut. Like, I had to take a look in the mirror. But to your question though, I forgot to mention this. Where did the delusion come from?
Yeah.
I think I really believed, when your parents tell you you can do anything, you can be anybody, my mom was big on that.
Okay, I got you.
She was big on like filling me with you can do whatever, Jermaine, you
That's
can
a
do
big
whatever you
thing.
want to
Like,
do.
that's a big.
Yeah.
A lot of people go the other way with that. That's interesting that your mom, like, you remember that part about you can do this, you can go do this.
Jermaine, you could be, and it wasn't even anything specific.
Were
Jermaine,
you like,
can
I
do
know? When you heard that, were you like, yeah?
I don't
Or was
know.
it encouraged? Or did you need that?
I felt like I knew, but
But it helps, mom.
But honestly, I mean, I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. I think she was.
Yeah, she was hitting you with
She
that.
she was like implanting that in me. So it was like, but I think the confidence I had was quiet. If you would have asked me when I was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 what I was gonna do, I would have never said out loud, I'm gonna be a rapper. I would have never told you that, because I believed it, but
Why wouldn't you tell me?
because I knew that you wouldn't believe. And I didn't want anything that you
Any
had
negative.
to say. I didn't
Because
want.
if
I
you
didn't
tell
have-
me and I go, come on, you're not gonna do that.
Yes.
You don't want to hear that.
I wouldn't even tell my mom. Like, I went to school at St. John's because in my mind I'm like, at this time the music industry was way different, and the music industry was in New York.
Yeah.
That was it. It was budding, starting to bud up.
Is
in
that why you
Atlanta.
went to St. John's?
That's why I went to St. John's, because in my mind it was a quiet play of, I'm doing music at a high level. I know this is what I want to do. I have to be around the music industry. Delusion. I thought it
You
was.
tell
gonna go-
anybody that? Why you chose St. John's?
No, that's what I'm saying. I never.
Nobody?
No.
Brother?
No.
Nobody?
No. It was all inside. I didn't even tell my mom. Like, and she the one that had to pay for the school. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I was just like, she
go
knew
to
I
St.
wanted to go to New York, but I never
She
said
didn't-
out.
yeah.
I never said out loud, Mom, I want to go to New York because I'm gonna be right next to the music industry and I'm gonna make it happen. I was like, yo, I have to keep all of this.
And then you do that.
Yeah, I think this is just gonna sound like I'm saying the same thing, but it is really important to have that kind of mindset with anything, really. Like that mindset of, they call it growth mindset, that the effort that I'm gonna put in the process, that I am malleable, that I can become better, and that if I commit to something, and then if that thing is what I want to get better at every single day, there's a chance that I will reach the highest potential of that thing. You know, let's say you may be delusional about becoming, I don't know, one day president of the United States or something. That's shooting for the moon. But once you have that delusion established, you now know that, okay, this is what I need to do every single day in order for me to become the version of me that can become the president of the United States, or in order for me to become the version of me that can be NBA player, YouTuber, or rapper. Those are like careers that are outside of the norm. They are the outliers. But in order for you to get to the outliers, you have to start by being delusional about it, because not everybody thinks that way. So you need the delusion to think that way. Then with the delusion, because you are so locked in the delusion, that you're going to put that extreme amount of work that is required for you, because over time you get obsessed with it. And one of the things is also sometimes that's to protect that delusion. And I think one way to protect that is to not talk about it too much. I know that I talk about the idea of, show your work, which is an idea that as you are with the new age social media and all this kind of stuff, as we are getting better, as we are doing stuff, or we are doing something that is meaningful to us, we can share it to people or online, and people that connect with really will come to it. But also, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because the more you talk about your goals and the things that you are delusional about with other people that can't see, they just see the delusions, they can't see the potential, they will instill doubt in you. They will plant that seed that will make you go like, yeah, maybe they are right, I shouldn't keep doing that thing. So yeah, I think you need to protect it. You need to protect it. You need to do the work in the dark and then see how it turns out.
You knew you got that, but
I knew I had some.
I like how you used the word delusional in a positive way. So that made you what you are, right? That belief. But then you're getting it in music, in the ciphers and where you are. In basketball, you're kind of like, well, that'll come later, or you kind of know at that time.
I think around. Well, first of all, I get cut once. Yeah, right. I get cut twice. I know I'm not that guy.
Okay, I got you.
There's no part of me that think I'm still that guy. Yeah. No, now I recognize. Yeah. Now I recognize the mountain that I gotta climb.
Yeah, I got you.
My delusion, it was more realistic at this point. It was, do I want to climb this mountain? As a kid that just got cut 2 times from the team and had to work. By the time I was a senior, I was starting. Had to work my way up to there. Do I want to continue to climb to be a college walk-on, to go from a college? I saw my future like, yo, like if I work hard enough, because now I understand in basketball, I understand the power of hard work. If I work hard enough, I could walk onto a team. I believe in my ability to at least walk onto a team. But then if I work hard enough, could I get some consistent playing time by the time I'm a senior? If I do that, could I then go overseas, keep working, and be one of these, like, I remember Jamario Moon's name at the time. I always loved his story. Came out of nowhere, played in mad leagues, but you could tell to have that level of determination. It's like Gary Payton. Second, it's like you just have a level of determination, and I saw that for myself possibly in basketball. But then I saw in music, it was couldn't do both. Right. So eventually at some point it was like, yeah, exactly.
When you do that, or did you always look?
I think one of the interesting thing with J. Cole is also like the self-awareness of his situation, and then the ability for him to think far in the future and plan things ahead. Because even though, like in his case, he likes 2 things, basketball and music, we can see that it wasn't just going with the flow. Those were calculated moves and calculated based of how much is he willing to put in each of those things. Was he willing to put in the effort, the determination, the mindset for basketball, or was it gonna be music? And he made a choice, and by the way things look, he made the right choice, which it's just interesting, man. These skills that he's just talked about, this is called retrospection. It's, I don't know, everybody should have it, because here's the thing. most of the time we get so crowded, distracted all the time. I mean, right now it's even worse. TV, games, and all this kind of stuff. Then friends and time to play, etc. We never take the time to like sit down and look inward at ourselves and the things that we're pursuing and the reason why things are working or not. To look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, you're complaining, but you're not doing the shit that you're supposed to do. So that's why you're not getting the result that you're supposed to do. That's why you're not getting the results that you want. You know, and it is so easy to like get entitled and be like, you know, I'm good, I'm better than this guy. Look at what I did. But it's like if you look at it realistically, it's like you haven't put in enough work. You haven't get to the level of craft that requires the recognition that you need. So looking at, I think it's a good ability, like being able to look at oneself in the mirror and then keeping it real, you know. And I think it goes a long way. That's why it is good to like listen to those people that are successful, that comes from nothing, because they will give you those nuggets of like advice because he's just straight up talking about his life, about the things that he did when he was kid. And what we get from this is we're picking up his brain, like, you know, J. Cole, what is going on inside the mind, what got him to the point of the success that he got to. And then from that we pick up the little pieces, we add it to ourselves and our journey. And then, you know, we never know. You never know.
Because I believed it, but
Why wouldn't you tell me?
because I knew that you wouldn't believe. And I didn't want anything that you
Any
had to say.
negative. Because if you tell me and I go, come on, you're not going to do that.
Yes.
You don't want to hear that.
You see, that's what I was talking about. The fact that when we talk to other people about the things that we believe wholeheartedly, sometimes you can see it from that person's face or the way they talk or the way they respond to it, that they don't believe in it, in you, like the way that you believe in you, right? And that's a big thing. Like sometimes the things that you do in the quiet, the goals that you have, sometimes it's just better to not talk about it unless that person really understands what you're trying to do and then you guys are working on the same thing or something. But if someone who is just outside, like, because we do that often, we want to be validated, we want to get validation from people that we meet. So if we are working on something like a goal, we tend to like talk about it. It's like you meet someone today, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm a rapper, you know, it's like chill, work on it slowly. The work is what is really important, because nowadays we focus so much on the cloud because we know that, okay, if you get people that follows you, that, you know, you'll get them to listen to your music and etc. But unless your music is that good, you got to stop focusing on the cloud, focus on the craft, on the music, on just focus on getting so good that nobody can ignore the things that you produce, because it is that good and it is that valuable. So yeah, I think, yeah, keep it to yourself, keep it in secret, work on it in secret, work on it in the dark, and when you bring it out, you just bring out, you know, people will be, you know, stunned. It's like, oh, you do that? Yeah, I do. Just don't talk about it. And it gives you much peace of mind because you don't have to keep up with anybody's expectation, and because you believe in yourself, the failure are not gonna stop you, and you're just gonna keep moving, keep punching.
What was
keep
the
going.
moment where you said, this is gonna be my life, this is my career, I can do this, and you just knew that, or did you always?
There was no other option. That just was I was always.
That was it. That was gonna happen.
That was gonna happen. There was no.
Was there anybody that you respected when they said to you, "Hey, you're great at this"? Like, was there one moment where somebody, some kind of like reaction to what you did, some person coming up to you?
Oh, lots of those. When I was you know, all of those moments I told you about in the ciphers, when I would just, you know, say a line and the whole cipher would disperse, like it's like a movie moment, like 8 Mile or something. Oh,
Yeah.
those were validation moments. There was a group in Fayetteville called Bomb Shelter that when I was 14, 15, I linked up with because I was like, yo, they're from my city. They do professional sounding music, and they were amazing to me. So the first time I went over there and recorded a song, and I saw everybody's reaction to the song that I recorded, it was more validation. When I played this song for my friends, you know what I mean, and I got the reaction from them, more validation.
When did it become this mute? Like I gotta. There's the part where you just love doing what you're doing, and then you realize I gotta. How am I gonna? What image? Who am I gonna be in this business? Like, what do I want to be? How do I stay true to what you do? Because I'm sure a lot of people are telling you, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it seems to me, I know you, not super well, but a little bit. You're kind of like you're pretty strong about this is what I'm doing. I can hear what you have to say, but I'm going this way, and that seems not that hard for you. But I don't want to diminish all the polling that you had.
No,
Like, you got to do this, you got to do that. It seems to me you're pretty centered and peaceful in what you choose, but there's got to be pressure in that, should I be doing this, should I be doing that? And then you get more successful, and then more people are telling you how to live, how to be. How do you kind of stay with you?
I mean, I had to learn that lesson, obviously, through the years. You know, I was very confident in the beginning and very, like, sure of myself, and sure of, like the things that me and my team are excited about. I got a partner, Ebe, you met Ebe, and we've been rocking like this from very early on. So I was very confident in that in the beginning, and then, you know, you get a few projects in or out, you know, the pressure starts to build, it's not going exactly how you want it to go, and then the pressure hits. You know, like when the pressure hits, that's
Do you remember when that happened?
Oh,
was
yeah,
there like a moment? Or
yeah.
was it just,
I mean, yeah, it was over a number of years.
Yeah.
It took me a while to even
Feel it?
recognize it. Yeah,
But it
well,
was
I was always
happening.
feeling it, but
Yeah.
it took me a while to recognize that, oh wait, this has been here for a few
Yeah.
years. You know what I mean, this thing. But once I felt that, this was like maybe 2 albums in. Once I felt that, the minute I recognized that this feeling, this pressure had been causing me to move a certain way and make certain decisions, once I became fully aware of it and like had that honest conversation with myself, now came like the remedy steps, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, what do you do about this? How do you fix this? And that answers your question about, that's when I began to move more true to get back in tune with what's true to me.
what was,
This goes back to what I was saying about him, and with him having that self-awareness and the ability of retrospection, which I think it's a very good ability to have, a good skill to have in life, because you don't even have to be famous or, you know, super successful like the way he is or early on to get those pressure. In life, we'll get those pressure. Most of us get it once we are going to college. After you finish high school, you are going to college. It's like, what do you want to do with your life now? At that point, you get suggestion, you get pressure from everybody, because everybody is telling you to do this. This is a good thing to do. This is a good route. This is a good route. This is a good route. You get that pressure. You get that overwhelming feeling of decision. Everybody has a say. Everybody knows. Everybody's older, right? Those are people that you are going through to get those decisions. And sometimes we don't stay true to ourselves. We take things to just praise someone we may look up to. You may look up to someone and they tell you, you know what, go do this. I think this is the right thing for you to do. And because you admire that person, you're like, okay, I'll take the advice from that person, without knowing that you're just trying to please that person, and you may have a different, maybe your true self wants to do something else, but because you didn't take the time to think in retrospect of what you want to do, what you want to pursue, or how you want to go about this, you ended up taking a decision that may down the road may not be the thing that you like. So we get that pressure all the time. in a relationship. Sometimes we get in a relationship with someone just out of pressure, right? Out of our environment. Maybe we start dating and everybody around us, our friend group started to validate our relationships, and then we precipitate into relationships that is too early. That's also pressure because perhaps we didn't take the time to check in, look at the mirror again, and be like, what is what is the thing that you're doing in alignment with your true core, with yourself, with the person you are. Same like stuff like YouTube, like making content, etc. There are so many people making different kind of content that goes viral. You see all the time. It put pressure on you to want to make different kind of stuff that are not true to you. Like this is a video that I'm making it because I think it's true to myself. Because I was watching the video with the intention of like, okay, J. Cole interview, I want to know what this guy's life has been about, what his path has been like, what was he thinking about it. And because I thought it was important, it was true to my core, true to the message that I portray, I decided to make the to make a commentary video about it and about what I think about this interview. I did made some commentary video before, but they weren't on things that I really cared about, right? So I think, yeah, we all get that kind of pressure, but being able to check in with yourself and then asking yourself, are we sticking to ourselves? Are we sticking to the things that we believe in or not? And I think once you get to that point, it goes a long way. Like you realize that a lot of decisions, how you are around people, the people that you allow in your life, the things that you allow yourself to say yes to, the things that you allow yourself to say no to, they all depend on those things. Because you get to that point of life where you make decision, and making decision comes with pressure because sometimes other people wants to know what decision you are gonna make, and it gets to a point where sometimes you want to just please somebody else. There's someone that you like, and you know that if you make this kind of decision, it's gonna hurt them. But you know, it's a decision that you're making true to your core, etc. So that's a good part, a good breakdown.
Outside pushing you, did you feel like you were getting pushed outside? Like you gotta do something different. You gotta play different music. You gotta change your image. What was pushing you away from what felt authentic to you?
Yeah, I think.
Was it you gotta make more albums? I don't
know.
No,
it was man. It's hard to explain but at that time and probably still, rap music specifically, very nuanced and opinionated game. It's not like basketball where it's like, yo, like, if you won, you won. We know who won the championship last year.
Yeah.
You know, there's no opinion about
yeah.
who won the championship last year. Like, nah, like y'all got that. Mm-hmm. Basketball is not like that. Music is not like that. Music is almost like, at least at that time, music is music. But the sport of rap, the sport of rap is more like if to win the championship, you had to get all this panel of journalists and fans to vote. A mixture of MVP voting and all-star voting combined determines who's gonna have the crown, and that was always important to me as a kid rapping. It wasn't just, I want to make it as a rapper. No, I'm competitive. I want to be hands down known as nobody's coming close. You know what I mean? And I think it's the same, honestly, with a lot of basketball players who strive for that top tier. The absence, when you're not getting that universal praise of I'm hands down the best, I think it could cause some tension. And
you had to let go of that?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I had to let go of that.
So did you think you deserved it?
Do I from now think I deserve it?
Then, when you were in that moment, you're like, why aren't they?
Of course.
Okay.
Similar to the kid that got, to the kid that got, yeah.
But do you think, so you're sitting there going, why is it not coming? And then you realized, I can't wait. I can't do it for that.
Yeah. And actually,
Because you realize that's not what it's about.
and it actually never was.
I
Like,
see.
yes, I was competitive, and yes, I always wanted to be in the cypher or amongst any rappers that I knew or any rappers that you heard. Yes, I wanted to be the best. The same way when I step on the basketball court, even back then, the best guy on the other team, I want to guard him. I want him to guard me.
Yeah.
I want to quietly,
Yeah.
I want to quietly destroy him. That was my mission. It was similar in rap. So although that was a part of it, the dominant thing of why I did music was because it was a love and a passion,
Yeah.
and it was the first thing in my life that I could sit down for hours and hours and hours and just stay on this journey until I'm done writing this song, or until I could sit and record for hours, just done from love. So I think at a certain point, the desire for that started to overcome.
The process started getting lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause it was more
So I
about-
had to.
And
yeah.
what is that person? The thing you wanted, that number one. What does that rapper get? What do you get? What
Nothing.
like? Yeah. But
First of all, it doesn't exist.
doesn't exist.
It's
Yeah.
never
like,
existed. But
what were you hope-
you know what it was back then? It was the critical. It was the I had.
You needed like
Oh man, I had what I had was almost to the point where I wasn't even appreciating it because I was so worried about the thing that I didn't have. But what I had was like this love from people and everyday people that living their life to this music, you know what I mean? And like really like, oh bro, this got me through such and such moment. They're really resonating with what I'm saying. But there was not from a critical standpoint, the journalist, a certain type of journalist too, honestly. I realized it was like, it's a certain segment of that it was just like, oh man, they not even.
And that's what you were.
Oh, I mean, it was just
Craving.
it's just one of the things that wasn't there.
Sure.
So I never grew up like I want you guys
Yeah.
to love me. But in the midst of the game, when it wasn't there, it was like, wait, why is that not over there? And then you start focusing on like you start looking more at least I did, start looking more at like the lack more than the surplus.
Yeah,
you know
what
what I
I
mean?
don't have.
Yes, and that was a big part of what I didn't have was like that side of things, as well as there was other. It wasn't like unanimous amongst the people, but that was the stuff that really like got to me. Like I remember really being like, you know, why am I not on that list right there? Like it's like they only put one of those songs over there, but this song is better than that song, and it's only number 31, and they trying to say that these songs are better than that. There was like, and mind you, this wasn't stuff I was saying out loud. These were internal conversations that were like damaging me. You know what I mean? It took me a while to like catch myself.
Did the
I mean, this is how you see someone become wise over time, because I experienced a little bit of that too. I mean, it's like I'm not trying to like compare myself to J. Cole or anything, but I think pretty much each of us have experienced it to the point. So the fact that we always chase things that we don't have, and then in doing so, we underappreciate the things that we have, and it is bad. It is because it makes you so miserable. You are not at peace. You are not with yourself. Like that's one of the things that I really hate with like social media, etc. Like I remember a couple of months ago when I was doing like the reels, etc. I was posting like reels on Instagram, and some of them went a little bit viral, so I started to like get some like and traction. Then fast forward a couple of months, I think that was the time where Instagram was rolling out the reels feature, so we were getting a lot of likes, etc. And then starting to want more. It's like, oh, I want more likes. I want like, okay, I get 2,000 likes on one reel. I'm like, no, I want more. I want that feeling again. And then you kept chasing that feeling. You kept chasing, you try to like, okay, I'm gonna make better videos. I'm gonna get much more likes. And those things are useless. You don't even know any of these people. You just want that dumb validation for no reason. And then the moment that the likes stop coming, the comments stop coming, I started to feel bad about myself. It's like, oh wait, they don't like me anymore. What's going on? Till you realize that why am I even chasing those like in the first place? Like, it's not as if I'm getting paid for any of those things. I don't even care about that thing that much. It's just me sharing my mindset and all of those stuff. Does the like really matter that much, etc.? So you realize that you will be chasing in life. You will be chasing things just because of your ego and the way your mind is wired. You want attention, but again, back to retrospection, thinking about it, being wise about it, understanding that these things are just making you miserable, and that if you want freedom, is to be tempered, to no one more, but focus on things that really matters. And yeah, man, it's something that you can really relate to.
What did the Grammy do for you, and what did it not do?
Oh,
Because I only understand it
Yeah.
from winning a championship. That's me.
Oh, yeah,
If
yeah,
somebody
no.
said, "What does winning a championship mean?" I'll say, "I'll tell you what it means, and I'll tell you what it doesn't mean."
Mm-hmm.
So for a Grammy for you,
no, not even nowhere.
what do you mean nowhere? What is it? What do you mean?
Nah, like I used to have a Grammy. Like, you know how you put a screensaver on your computer
Oh,
back in
yeah.
the days or
You-
whatever, or
you-
your
you had a
background.
picture?
Oh, it was so important to me. Like,
got you.
so had I won it early on, I think it would have validated all of those feelings I had for it. Of like, oh man, and maybe it would have felt like a championship at that point. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The fact that it didn't happen, and then it didn't happen, and then it didn't happen, it allowed me to even reflect now and be like, wait a minute, like, first there was the same feeling of like, wait, why they not rocking with me, boom, boom, boom. And then after time and like, you know, more time spent with myself, it becomes clear that it's like, oh, wait a minute, like, you know, those things weren't for you, you know, and then when it actually came, it was almost like I'm not in love with this thing anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it couldn't feel like a champ. And not to mention, bro, I won a Grammy with somebody else.
Yeah.
It ain't even like I was
Yeah.
on. It was
Yeah.
me as a
Yeah.
feature on somebody's
Yeah.
song. It
Yeah.
ain't for nothing I did.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
My but to your, I think this will answer your question a little better. Like, that's nowhere close to a championship to me, the Grammy. But there was an album that felt like a championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was the
Yeah.
releasing of an album.
Yeah.
There was the making of
Yeah.
this album I got called Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah.
And the releasing of it
That was-
and
that
the
was
tour.
yeah.
That was a championship
Yeah.
run in the way that, like, you know, I would look at how the Bulls look at,
Yeah.
you know, the Last Dance, or how you guys
Yeah.
look at one of you
Yeah.
guys' championship. Like, that was the feeling. So,
Yeah.
and then guess what? That album didn't win a Grammy, and it's like it meant nothing. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't. A Grammy didn't increase my enjoyment or
Yeah.
decrease my enjoyment. If that album would have won a Grammy, it wouldn't have added.
Yeah,
You know what I
sure,
mean? It
yeah.
wouldn't have changed my experience. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And the fact that it didn't win didn't change my experience. It was like that was what a championship felt like to me.
Yeah, it's interesting because in 2015 we won, and it was overwhelming. And then in 2016, we had the best record ever, beat the Bulls, 73-9, and we lost. That was the year we were down
Yeah, for
3-1. We
sure.
lost to
Yes.
LeBron, and most people would say pretty cavalierly that record doesn't matter. You guys didn't win the championship, and I heard that a lot. You guys blew it, and then I realized for me, I said I get to decide what that 73-9 means.
There you
for
go.
me. You know, I get to do that. You don't get to do that.
Yep.
Just like you don't get to decide. I don't decide what a Grammy means for you.
Yeah.
I don't decide. You don't decide what a championship means for me,
Yes.
or that record, or whatever it is. But you're much more. I can't imagine being you in a world as known as you are, where people are telling you how to feel. How do you choose? Like, who gets in your life? Because I can imagine being. I would be kind of closed. I would be almost unhealthy. I don't want to hear what anybody has to say. Mm-hmm. But you're 6 years old going like, I got this. That it almost strikes me as you're the type of guy that, who do you ask for help for? Who helps you?
I got close
It's
friends.
people that are like, hey.
Yes, I got close friends and family in my corner that I can talk to. If I ever need to, you know, they're there. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. I feel blessed and lucky to be like this, but I'm a self-soother, and not in a way that's like, in a way that's dangerous or in a way that's like, no, like I've from a very young age, I become very good at problem solving, self-correcting, self-reflecting, self-adjusting, letting things go, recognizing if I'm not letting something go, doing the proper work to let it go. So I'm not often overwhelmed. Like those years that I told you about, yeah, that was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I handled that dolo. There's things
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
talk about that part of my life now
Yeah.
with people that are close to me that were around back then, and it's like, oh yeah, I didn't even know that was happening to you. Like that's their
Yeah.
reaction to me. So yes, I have people. If I need people, I have people that I can go to. But I honestly prefer even to just do that
Yeah.
on my own.
How
This thing that he's talking about, I remember I watched a video by a guy, Tom Belew from Impact Theory, and then he was talking about a video about like secret for success or anything like that, and he was talking about the ability to self-soothe. I don't even know what that means, but I have an idea of like what that means, being able to, take care of your own shit at time. That's sometimes people are not just gonna be there for you to get your problem and they solve it for you. So how can you deal with those things in a healthy way by yourself? And once you're going through something, meaning maybe you're going through something hard, to like talk to yourself and changing your mindset, changing the way you react, changing the way you feel, changing the way you take action, recorrecting yourself and moving back and forth. It's kind of like having the retrospection that I was talking about earlier. So it's you just pick up from these people mindset, man. It's good.
Do that
Yeah.
on my
How,
own.
how personal? People say one of the healthiest things any of us can do is journal. In your music, do you feel like you're journaling? Like how personal? What song that you wrote or lyrics was the most raw? Was the most like, this is me?
Oh man, it's too much. It's too many.
There's a lot of them.
No, it's so many.
Because I think that's kind of healthy.
Yeah, you're
what I'm
making a
saying?
great point. Yes, you're making a great point. And for me, in the beginning,
'Cause it's kinda like-
especially,
yeah.
that was it. That was my way of venting, saying. That was my way of communication. Even was, and that back then it was much easier because nobody was listening. You know what I mean? Now it's like, actually, if I write it, even it's like, I don't know if I even want y'all to hear
Well,
that.
people hear. I got you.
But it's still the same therapeutic process of like getting it off, and so yeah, that helps. But more so than that, honestly, man, it's like honest conversations with myself. You know what I mean? Like that is more healthy even for me than journaling. Like checking in with myself. How you feeling? What's going on? You feeling a little different? Okay, what is that? Oh, what can you do about that? Well, maybe we should, do a little meditation, maybe we should just look at it a different way. Maybe you should just let that go. Like,
one of the things that I don't know. This is gonna be more for like the male viewer, which is one of the things that us young men, I don't know if it's just how we have portrayed it over time, is that idea that mental health is not for men, etc. That journaling shouldn't be a thing. It should be for like female or girls that are in high school, etc. It's healthy. Here's the thing, because we don't get to talk about our emotion that much. We don't get to open up a lot about the things that is hurting us, etc. So having an outlet to let those things go in a way of writing it down, journaling, it's healthy. It keeps your mind healthy and it gives you a peace of mind, because it's kind of like you're talking to yourself. So I think I think journaling is a big thing as well as meditation. Personally, this year has been the year where I meditated a lot, and it's really life-changing, I swear to God, because every time it helps me find peace, helps me be present in the moment, because I know that for the longest that I never lived in the present moment, because in my head I'm always chasing something. I'm always going after a goal. I'm always want to like get better, get to my goal, etc. It really didn't allow me to, enjoy and appreciate the present moment, and then just be at peace with what I'm doing in the moment, because I'm always, far down the road in my head thinking about something, and then how to solve this problem, how to make this thing happen, etc. So him saying that is really important, especially for me. It's just, it reinforced the things that I've been doing recently, and the result, you are at peace, because you know that you are going through to what direction. You can take the time to have a retrospect with yourself, and then check in with yourself time to time, say like, hey, how you doing? Good. I can see that you are feeling down about this thing. What's happening here? Can we talk about it? Can we check about it? Do we need to meditate? Do we need to go out? I don't know. Recently, I've been into hiking, go out in the mountain, and then enjoy the nature, breathe, and remember that we are just alive and everything is fine, that we're grateful. I think those are things that, because it brings you those peace, and it kind of just resets you, and you are like, okay, now let's take on this problem. Now the problem looks very small in the grand scheme of things. You realize that your problem is nothing, and then you shouldn't let it get you down so much, and then you move forward. So yeah, it's a good one too.
And even how I'm saying it, I don't even think there's words. It's just a feeling.
Well, it's
like
interesting because we talked. I saw you in New York, and I asked you about what you were doing, and you were telling me there was a certain place where you could write. Mm-hmm. Remember, we were talking about where you could write music.
Yeah.
And you hadn't been in that environment.
Yes.
In a while, and then you were like, I forgot this is a place I write.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to me. To do what you do, you have to be really in touch with yourself, right? Because you can't fake. I'm not handing you lyrics.
Yeah.
And you're just singing them.
Yeah.
There's a difference between writing a book and reading a book.
Yeah.
And you're doing both, and you're sending it out to the world. So I guess what's interesting, I hear what you're saying, and I'm like, wow, how does somebody take all that in by themselves? But then you have to be in touch with you to write.
There you go.
Right?
Yes. I spend a lot of time by myself. Like, I spend a lot of time with myself, not by myself because I'm constantly surrounded by family, but when it's work time.
Because nobody can help you do.
There you go. I'm the only one. I'm the only one that can at least get it out the way that's pure. I could always.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a time in my life in the future where it's like I'm more collaborative. I'm not even working on my things. Boom, boom, boom. I actually love when like producing for other people, like and being able to having it not be about me. But as long as it's my thing, yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with myself and in my thoughts. And that's always been me. There was only that few year period I had in my life where that was like unhealthy because my thoughts were spiraling, and I didn't quite yet at that age have the awareness to know where how low they had gotten, and then B, I didn't have the tools yet to Now in my older age and maturity, it's like, oh wait, I'm way more aware when something's going on, if something's going on, and then have way more tools on deck for myself to like self-correct.
As far as being a leader do you think yourself, or in your industry, do you even talk about it like that way?
No.
You don't.
I don't look at myself like that because it's like
You don't even.
I just don't even
think like that.
Yeah, it never even enters my mind. But when you say that, I'm sure there's someone out there who's like, who's in the same way that I did, looked at people that I don't actually know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
As a North Star and guiding light to get to where I want to be. You know what I mean? And yes, I had those along the way. I had when I was a kid, I was Tupac'd out, Nas'd out, and Jay-Z, Kanye, Lil Wayne, Andre 3000. So, I have these life-changing people who in some way, shape, or form I was looking at as for guidance, whether it be creatively, musically, or like just how I thought they were living their life. But the truth is, even the kid that out there that like, maybe views me as a leader, he doesn't really know how I'm living day to day. You know what I mean? So he just has to fill in the blanks.
What would you say, let's say, this doesn't happen sometimes I teach, or they ask me to come speak to students. It's different in your industry. I'm sure you've spoke to people. What if it was sitting out there with kids from 12 to 18 or 10, and they're all from all over the U.S. or anywhere, and they're like, hey, tell me what to do. Tell me how to get to where you are.
I think there's 2 key ingredients, maybe 3, but one is see yourself as high as you possibly could see yourself, right? So if someone wants to, like, be in the NBA, like they want to be an NBA player, to me that's not enough.
Yeah.
There's a wide range of NBA players,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's an NBA player that never saw the floor. You know, he sat at the end of the bench his whole career, and they never re-upped his contract, and then he had to go fight in the G League, and boom, boom, boom. He was in the NBA.
Yeah.
LeBron James is in the NBA.
Yeah.
Who do you see yourself as? And there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Clarify and define your vision for yourself in the highest possible way that you could see it. Do you want to be a 12-time All-Star?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a league MVP? Do you want to be, you know, you want to set the three-point shooting record? Be as specific and see yourself as high as you possibly can, right? That's your first job, is to see it as high as you can see it. Be delusional even, to the point where to where your mind, right at the apex of what your mind believes is possible, maybe push past that even a little bit and define it. And then number 2 is like believe it. You know what I mean? Like see it all the time and believe it, and whatever you got to do to protect that belief. My version of protecting that belief was I wasn't sharing this.
Yeah, you weren't.
I wasn't even telling my mom. She knew I rapped. She knew I did music, and to her
Don't
it was
let
like
somebody knock you off.
I'm not even gonna give my own mother the chance to try to bring me back down to reality. It's not gonna happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, not gonna happen. So number 1, dream as high as you possibly can. See yourself. Not even dream. See yourself as high as you possibly can. Define that. Don't just say I want to do such and such. Because if you mess around and get such and such, you're gonna be mad that you didn't think about higher. There's a lot of people that do that. They're like, man, why didn't I think about being this instead of just this? Because at the time you thought just this was it. But do the thought work and see where you really want to be. 2, believe that it's possible and protect that belief. And then 3 is work towards it. You have to do the work. And because you love it, it's not always gonna feel like work, but sometimes it is. I'm sure there's times where Steph is in the gym or like waking up and it's like, I don't really actually want to go strength train, or I really don't want to go put these shots up. I'd rather chill with the family, but I'm gonna go do it because I know my ultimate goal is championship. My ultimate goal is X, Y, and Z. So he goes and does it. And then within the work, he probably finds joy when he's there. I'm assuming. Never had this conversation with him, but I'm assuming while he's putting up his shots, while he's working on his moves, while he's doing strength, he finds the enjoyment and the presence in it. But it's still work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's still work. So those are like the 3 things that I would tell anybody, whether they're 10 years old or 30 years old. You have to see yourself in the highest, and the world will fill in the rest. You know?
That's what discipline comes in, man. Because what he's saying, I mean, if you have follow like those, not like the Andrew Tate success guru on YouTube, but the real people that have been successful and talk about the success mindset, you realize that most of these people talk about this thing, having a vision, right? Protecting that vision, right? And then lastly is doing the freaking work, man. It's that discipline part, that part which requires you to show up every single day and then do the work. Like, I talk about discipline. I read a lot of books about discipline, and we hear it a lot with things that, oh, you know, these people just talk about discipline. Oh, what is discipline? Get to live life, etc. Bro, if you want to get to where you want to go, the work is is part of the bargain. The work is there. You're not gonna skip the work, because there are gonna be days that you don't feel like doing shit, but you gotta go do it. There are gonna be days that your body is hurting, your mind is drained, you are tired, but you gotta show up and do the work. And by having the vision, by protecting the vision and wanting to go to that point and dedicating yourself, committing yourself to that, the work is kind of like part of the process. It's the price that you're paying to become who you want to become. You know, the Mamba mentality. I realized that, I mean, this year I was just looking at like the reels, etc., and I've been really connected to the Mamba mentality, which is pretty much the same thing. See yourself there and show up for the work day after day. Get 1% better. That's just your job. Get 1% better until you make it. Because sometimes we do shit because we want the fame, we want the money, we don't want the stuff. But until you start loving the process, those things are not gonna come. Like, bro, a lot of things that people makes a lot of money in that you will want to like get into those things. Like, oh, you see J. Cole is making a lot of money, you want to make music, etc. Until you love making music and you love the process of working and producing the song, even when nobody is listening to it, until you get to that point, you're not gonna make that money that you want. Because it's not about the money. Because I think it's more about fulfilling your purpose in life, which is to create, right? The highest version of human being, in my opinion, is a human being that is creating something out of his experience of himself from inside out, right? Through some kind of like art. And in my opinion, business is a type of art as well, which is that, when you're creating, I think you will be much more fulfilled, and the work, you will be grateful for the work and for the process. So yeah, man, it's a good video. It's really great video, a really good insight, and a lot of things to pick up on when it comes to like grind and all this kind of stuff. So my camera just died, and I'm just gonna call it now. The video was good. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you find it insightful. I hope the mindset touched you like it touched me. So learn from the greats. J. Cole. It's a good interview, and peace, man. You guys have a good day. Oh, please don't subscribe to like. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. If you like it, let's get to 500 subs by the end of the year. No, not by the end of the year. Let's get to the 500 subs by June. Okay, so if you guys like the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave whatever you get from that, the mindset and the nugget you get from J. Cole. Until next time, my friend, wish you a blessed one and peace.
But if it's a high goal, you set the highest goal. I think that's the problem. Like people.
I think they're afraid. I think a lot of people are afraid. You don't seem like you were to set that goal.
Oh yeah.
You understand?
There you go. I know what you're saying. Yes.
I was afraid.
Yeah,
if you would have told me I want to be GM, and I met you, and we were talking, and you said, hey, why don't you try to win 4 championships? I would have told you, like, come on, don't put that on me. Don't say that. I'd be like, I just want to try and do it the right. I'm not you.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique to think it and then believe. Even when you're saying it, you can feel that that's true to you. Mm-hmm. I'm envious of that. I'm kind of like, I wish I thought that way.
Man, you know what I'm envious of too, to that point, is because I also think that like the way that I said is valid for someone that wants to live that life. But I also think another valid way to live is, I'm envious of people who don't have strong desire or strong vision and don't have something. They live a peaceful life and an enjoyable life, and it's like, I go to work. I like my job. I like my salary. I'm not
trying
stupid rich, but I love my family. I come home. Life is amazing, and they live their life like that. And I think that is just as valid. I think they're equally valid, and I don't think I don't think anyone should feel, because I've come across people who maybe, because we live in a society and a culture that pushes, it's like a hustle culture, and work hard, boom, boom, boom. And I think people could feel almost guilty or like insufficient for not having some great dream to dream. And I'm like, no, it's a blessing to be satisfied, to be at peace, to be, to be content with life. You know what I mean? Like, I have this job, I have this family, I have this.
I listen to music, but I don't need to be.
I don't need to be that guy. I'm cool with this. You know what I mean? And I think that I'm envious of that.
It's interesting.